acidophilus is working a treat.
Okay, so just introduce yourselves.
Oh, I'm Kyrona and this is Shiana, who's very sleepy. She should be hungry, but she's just chilling.
And Sienna is how many days old?
She is 14 days old, 15 days today, I guess, tonight.
Okay.
She's a very happy little chick.
Happy little chick. And Sienna was born here at home?
She was, downstairs. We have a special space down there. It's my healing room actually. So she was born amidst the crystals and the candles and beautiful music playing that's actually playing now.
And Sienna was a hypnobirthing baby?
She is a hypnobirthing baby, which worked wonderfully well. It works. Proven 3 times over. What else? What else can we say? Without the hypnobirthing preparation, she probably would have been a hospital baby just because of a few technical hitches with my body catching up due to past operations that I'd forgotten about, but we were able to work through that, which was great. And so the first birth was a water birth and a proper hypnobirth because I had time to really prepare and get in the groove because it was slower. Smile, that's right, it was good, wasn't it? And it was an amazing experience. It was so beautiful and my partner was so beautiful and we had the whole family there for that one. So the kids got to experience a beautiful labour all the way to the 3rd phase when it stopped really, which is, yeah. Oh, and she's having a happy dream. And that was really great because the girls actually afterwards, 2 of them in particular, said, I can't wait to have a baby now. Which is a massive change from, oh my gosh, it's going to be horrendous.
Do you think then the girls attending the hypnobirthing class helped?
Oh, massively. That was amazing, the difference in 1 hour from dragging them almost there under sufferance because they were going to see blood and guts and gore and oh don't do it to me, and they were terrified and their arms were crossed and their legs were crossed and they were huddled together in horror. And they came out again with this amazing attitude of wow, that was beautiful, and they got it. My daughter probably didn't get it as much because she's a bit funny like that, but she has totally changed her attitude. It took her a bit longer, a bit more wounding there I think. But
And how old are they, Kyrona?
19, 18 and 17 the girls. So that was just really exciting to be able to give them that opportunity. Geordie, the 10-year-old, thought he'd seen a bit too much vagina for one day. Wasn't so sure about it. But it was good for him to see that too. Oh, it was funny.
I think what's interesting is that they've observed you during your pregnancy.
Absolutely.
And prior to coming to your hypnobirthing classes.
Yeah.
And then they presumably saw some change.
Yeah, I think from the beginning they were, because I guess I have a rather healthy approach to my lifestyle, they were amazed just by the fact that I didn't really suffer from, I had morning illness I guess all day, but a different attitude to it probably. So they were surprised the whole way along by that, to be honest, and just the fact that I was eating healthy food and taking vitamins and minerals and all things they'd not been aware of or exposed to before. And I'd explain everything every step of the way because it was an educational journey for them. So, but certainly when we started the hypnobirthing, there was even the fear around the religious implications of hypnosis and explaining that what it was and what it was about. And so even that was a really big deal. And their father, of course, having been a very diligent Jehovah's Witness for 20 years and their teacher for a lot of their life, you know, the evening Bible reading and study was, they grew up with that. So for him to be involved in a process like this even, and they trust him explicitly, but was really eye-opening and beautiful, I think, for all of them. So that was really good.
And it made a big impact on your partner?
Yeah.
sitting through the classes
Yeah.
and supporting you and learning about the hypnobirthing method.
Yeah. He's been a sponge for the last 12 months for all this stuff, seriously. He just loves it. And it's very synergistic, I think. He's naturally that way. I mean, his beliefs about mothering and child rearing are very aligned with hypnobirthing anyway. You know, he gets quite passionate about the fact that women are being terrorised where even when babies are born, what you can and can't do, like, you know, that you can break them so easily with so many things. So it certainly resonated strongly with him.
Tell me, what was the most interesting or important thing that you learnt from hypnobirthing?
It was really reconnecting to your right to have a baby naturally. I think, not that I didn't have unnatural births last time, but actually just the recognition, and I was aware of it, but on a deeper level, on a soul level and on a subconscious level, that it is natural and it's not a medical emergency, and I can do this. Even at 40, I didn't think that was a problem from day one, but every person was telling me from the moment I got pregnant that this was a bit of a disaster and we had a major problem on our hands, which, you know, luckily I've sort of disconnected from the medical system enough to laugh at that, but it's still constantly being given to you by everyone, and not meant to be in a negative way necessarily, but I just found such strength in that, and as you know, so many, because I'd had children a long time, 17, 18 years ago, and my life circumstances were very different then, and it wasn't a supportive home environment or a supportive emotional environment. So despite the fact that my two children were born, you know, in a hospital but well, there was a lot of emotional stuff for me more than anything that I had to work through, and I was aware of that. But it just came at me at unexpected moments. So luckily with Marilyn, with you, I was able to work through a lot of that stuff as well. And the beautiful opportunity to have 3 labours, 3 different labours over 2.5 weeks, allowed me again to work through a whole heap of stuff that I was unaware of. So it was absolutely perfect, really. And I get that, and it showed me a whole heap of different ways to apply the hypnobirthing, because the first time was literally the lazing back in a recliner chair and meditating, my favourite chair, and the peaceful approach, and then the second time needed to be more active because we had to do some other stuff, and the third time was a combination of both, really. So it was good, very good.
And how long was that third labour?
Literally 4 hours. It was quite funny.
Just beautiful.
Funny stuff. Well, the waters broke on the Friday morning after an acupuncture session, which was supporting the scar tissue releasing and getting my chi up because my energy had got very low, and also at the end of it inducing, because it was well and truly overdue by this stage, and the waters broke an hour later. But nothing, no movement at the station other than the waters breaking. So I was hopeful that things would kick in once that had happened, but by the next morning still no movement at the station. I'm going, goodness, you know, I've had 2 weeks of labour coming and going, and now it won't start, but the waters are broken. And I felt there was no fear involved, because I was really, I'd worked through so much of that, and I was very much ready. I was very uncomfortable. In fact, it was just like, ready to get her out of me now, please, as quickly as possible. I've had enough practice runs already. So we had to work with natural induction processes all day long. It was a very dedicated process. I was happy I could get my list out. Had an hourly regime of all the things I had to do to kick this labour in. And I'd given myself 2.5 days. I thought after that it was, to me, maybe not that. Well, there's a potential for infections and things. But that being said, since then I know a lady that's gone for 5 days and doing the high doses of antioxidants and making sure your temperature's okay and just checking in on the baby's heart rate. If your temperature's okay, usually everything else is too. So I'd given myself the deadline anyway, and so it was getting a bit close, and so we worked hourly, breast pumping and acupuncture pointing and hot bar. Well, no, I couldn't do hot bars, hot showers, and homeopathic combinations that are meant to help induce as well. So we're doing all that every hour until 11 o'clock that night, at which point I was really tired. We had got going at about every 20 minutes, but I thought, geez, I need a rest. So I sent a text to the midwife saying I'm going to have 4 hours off and get up at 3 a.m. to continue, because again we had the time frames going. So and I didn't make it up the stairs, it just went so fast from the moment I did that. So if there's some form of surrender going on there, perhaps there is, it played out. But the alarm went off as she was crowning 4 hours later, so that's what I set the alarm for. It would be little did I know, which is the way it's been the whole time. Hands off, let it happen her way, not my way. So yeah, and what else? It just went really quickly, and she was £9.3, and I really was not aware that was she was big, actually, because my other two were nowhere near that big, but it didn't feel that, and I'm sure the picture of the rose opening, how I did that visualization for 2 weeks, because that was what we were working on happening. So there was a lot of that going on, and I did experience that very much. So
Was Sienna born in the water?
no, not the last time that we did the water birth, and that was, the benefits would have been there as far as energetically for me. I was very exhausted from holding myself up in the end, but it just wasn't right for the last time. I think we needed to be a lot more active because of what we were dealing with, just to allow that process, and that's the way it felt anyway. So we did a birth and stool for the last one, and yeah, I would have loved not to have had to hold myself up, which I did need to do, and it took my last amount of strength to push it. Well, it wasn't a push out, but when she came out very quickly. It was just 3 surges, and that was that. And yeah, my arms were very shaky.
Who received her?
Darren up here. Cool. Oh, you've got to come and sit in.
So Darren, you actually delivered your baby. You received your baby.
I did. It was an amazing thing.
She's beautiful.
To be there to do that for our 6th child. To finally be there and have that blessing. It's amazing. Tears were shed.
What manly tears?
Of course.
Cry like a man always. Well, yeah, I envisioned feeling her or looking, and I was given that option, but I was too concentrating on other things. I was like, it's not good. I was very aware in my head exactly where she was. I could see it anyway, strangely enough, and that's the way it was with my other two, so that was good.
And the placenta? What was going on there?
That took a bit of effort, actually. It took 4 hours to have her and 2 hours to birth my placenta. So she was very connected to us, and we were all very connected because we were doing the lotus birth. So we were stuck together. I guess it necessitated good bonding for 2 hours, which it was really good. I just didn't seem to have much muscles left. I had to have a rest, and so she could fit on my stomach and did manage to. Did she manage to feed? I think so. I think she fed, and we just sat there. I did need to give her to Darren for a while, so he sort of sat in between my legs with the placenta, the cord and the baby really closely connected because we were stuck together. For 2 whole hours, and in the end we did need to give it a little bit of extra help just so I could find my muscles because they were a bit lost, and I didn't realise that it wasn't in the uterus or something, it had come out already, so I needed to use actual muscles to push it out, not a surge, because my uterus had already contracted. It was just sitting there, but it was apparently very big. So, yeah. So it was beautiful though. And then we did the ceremony, the lotus birth ceremony, and that was really, really special. And she was so chilled out. She did do a squawk when she first came out, actually. So it wasn't the I'm coming out and going hello, peace. She did a good squawk, and then she was just zen and talked to us for 4 or 5 hours till we came upstairs. And then she talked to her brothers and sisters on our bed for another couple of hours, so she had a big day.
Yes, definitely.
She was really conscious, really awake. It was kind of amazing, and it spun them out as well, that she was sitting there talking and moving her head and looking around. Yeah, that was cool.
Say something, Darren.
We're talking about being awake. As she was birthing her, when she finally came out, her eyes were open, and she grabbed hold of my finger.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was straight away. It was amazing, and she was just looking around and relaxed. She let us know that she's got lungs.
Yeah.
And as you'll probably see in some of the other video, that she was really, really relaxed during the whole process.
And the lotus birth was quite an amazing, energetic experience, because we'd read about it, and obviously from that we decided it wasn't something we could do it the old-fashioned way anymore, because it was just horrendous once you've read the other stuff and you really get that to go there. Darren always said, I always wanted to cut my baby's cords, and the doctors always pushed me out of the way at the last minute, and now that I can do it, it's the last thing on earth I'd do. So that was kind of funny. So we went up a notch and he received the baby, so that was good. And the midwife was great. She didn't even step in. She stayed right back and just guided him. Her cord was around her foot, so needed, I believe, I didn't see that, but needed to unhook her foot. So the placenta. The preparation of it was a really beautiful experience, the cleaning, and as I said, we made it into quite a beautiful ritual. It was really special. And then watching her with the placenta was the amazing thing. When she had the placenta on, from the beginning, she was just lying there with her arms. Like you see, I've seen a couple of black and white photos of babies with placentas, just no need for wrapping at all, just arms and legs spread out, snoozing away, and that's what she was like. Until we actually ended up on the 3rd day cutting it off. It had just the cord had got too stiff, and it was really getting quite difficult to move around. It felt like it was hurting her because it was getting twisted, it was so tight. And we've discovered a way of preparing the cord now, retrospectively, that we can pass on to other people, because I'm out to pasture. But yeah, the difference, watching her energetically shift over those 3 days, you could actually see it and feel that peace coming in. She was peaceful already, but there was an adjustment. You could see it. It was really interesting. And once the placenta came off, she wanted to be wrapped, actually. So yeah, she enjoyed that then, but she wasn't really into it before that. So
She still looks a very peaceful baby.
Oh, she is. I mean, I felt really strongly she was ready for it to come off. She was trying to pull it and yank on it anyway, and so she'd had the blessings she needed from that, I think. Plus, it was starting to get a little whiffy. We had very wet, rainy weather the whole 3 days, so it was a bit humid, and we're told that's not a problem. The acupuncturist, herbalist, is preparing it for her medicine now, and he said that wasn't an issue at all. So, but yeah, it was getting a bit much to carry around. I thought I'd had enough.
If you have any special message to any new mums, what would it be?
Hypnobirthing is an absolutely fantastic, beautiful way to reconnect and to birth a baby. I would recommend it for absolutely everyone. It's so necessary to get back to that, and it's so empowering. even if there's a few technical hitches, it allows you to deal with that so well anyway, and you're prepared for that. And I just think the ability to birth a baby and give a baby a beautiful, peaceful, sacred birth is so important now, more so than ever before, I think, because the world's changing and it needs to. So.
And Darren, for Dad?
For Dad, well, it was a beautiful experience. It was so relaxed and peaceful and calm, and it was for us. It was a time for us, not a time for nurses and doctors and everybody to get involved. And Susan was absolutely wonderful, the midwife. Sorry, she just stood back and allowed it to be our time, and it was just as if no one else was there, and everything went beautifully. One of the problems with hypnobirthing is that from looking from outside you can't tell when a contraction or a surge is coming. So it's just, it was just peaceful, and it was only sometimes just watch her breathing to tell when she needs some support. But really, the hypnobirthing process just allows the body to do what it's naturally meant to do.
And it includes the dads in the process.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, it includes the dads as well.
I think I'm just about out of battery.
Well, there you go.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Just zoom in on the
She's
little
still
angel.
sleeping. She's so ready for a feed by now.
She knows she's been talked about.